Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Flournoy. I'm very happy to be conducting tonight's Q&A conversation. Wanted to start with Justin Torres, the author of We the Animals, the novel. If you could walk us through how you hooked up with Jeremiah, the director, and basically the birth of the film a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Hi, guys. Aw. If that's all it takes, you guys are easy. Jeremiah approached me. I talked to like a couple other people, and it was kind of weird Hollywood talk, and then Jeremiah read the book and he got in touch with me, and we met. We had like oysters in like Brooklyn. It was I felt very fancy, and he just really got the book. I mean, he really got it, and I kind of knew that he knew about family, and he knew about trouble in the family, and he knew kind of about the themes of this book and what was important in the book, kind of artistically and thematically, and I just trusted him to do it, and it worked out. Yeah.
It absolutely did. How about one more hand for the cast? So many beautiful performances. I wanted to ask Sheila in particular, what drew you to the role of Ma?
Well, she's just such a beautiful character. She's so nuanced and layered and complicated and broken and raw. And I just found like a beast within this woman that I feel I have within myself. And so, I mean, I was so captivated by her and her role in this family and what she puts up with, and the weight she carries with surrounded by these boys that are turning into men, and then beyond that, like the themes of the book too. The book itself really struck me, and it was a project I wanted to be a part of because it was telling a story that I think needed to be told and representing several groups of people that are underrepresented.
So you said that there was a beast in Ma that is also in you. I'm interested in that because one of the themes in the film is this sort of recurring, this sort of like wildness of the boys. So this idea that Ma also has this like beast inside of her. You could say more about that.
Some of that wildness, unfortunately, didn't all make it into the film, but I hope still maintained within me, but it's definitely in the book, and it's part of her. And what it is, I think, is just like a woman trapped in a set of circumstances that are really hard to navigate, especially because she was a kid when she had kids. So I think that there's all these different ways we can cage ourselves or make less space for ourselves. Often it's not our own fault, it's the things around us, and that's something that's exciting to me about this also is like what happens to people when they're under that kind of like socioeconomic restraint, and I have my own reasons why I feel caged sometimes, but for her I think it's just like a pressure cooker, and she hasn't had the chance to, her life kind of got derailed by children is my understanding, and that pressure cooker and then and you're a woman in a man's world, and it makes you go feel crazy sometimes. It just really, really does.
Understandable. One of the other themes that is present in the book and really prevalent and beautifully translated in the film is this idea of masculinity as both being kind of this impervious thing, but then also this thing with this core kind of fragility or kind of instability. So I'm interested in, Raúl, how you approached your character and his relationship to that kind of that seesawing effect of masculinity and like fragility.
I mean, the character's so beautifully drawn and so complicated. But I think abuse is cycled down essentially, and I think for me my approach to the character had to begin with trying to understand that people are often times just trying to do the best with what they have, and they're trying to give their kids the best. And these are the tools that he's been given, and he's just trying to prepare them for the world. So I think it was my job not to judge him and sort of try to come from a place of understanding. And thankfully we had Justin throughout the entire shooting process. He was with us, and he was available to answer a lot of questions and sort of round out a lot of the things that I was curious about in the character.
Isaiah, how old are you?
14.
14. So when this was shot, you were
12.
12. You were Manny, the oldest brother.
Yes.
And you really do project like a sort of authority over the other boys in the film. You're the oldest sibling in real life?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I have 2 older sisters and then 2, like 1 younger brother, 1 younger sister.
Okay. So you have some authority over some people, but not everybody.
Yes.
How do you think that your like real life kind of sibling dynamic helped you prepare to play Manny?
Well, basically like how you said, because I have 2 younger siblings, so I'm able to like, because also in the film I have 2 younger siblings, so I'm able to use that to help me when I have to do certain scenes, because like I play this like leadership role where I have to like look after them and like be a big brother to them, so I'm able to like use my own family into the film.
Questions? If there are questions in the audience, I think we have mics.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, Justin, what your biggest issue was translating it from the narrative to a screenplay.
You know, there were a lot of things. Something that came up really early on was that in order to kind of have this emotional continuity with the character, Jeremiah didn't want him to age as much as he ages in the book. So in the book, there's this big time jump, and at the end of the book, he's much older, and he has a sexual experience with an older man, and they decided to keep the youngest character much younger. And so of course I couldn't put that scene in because like it would be a really different movie. But I was like, it has to be queer. Like it still has to be a queer film. Like it was very, very important to me that it be about kind of queerness and a queer sensibility. And so we had a lot of conversations about how we were going to do that. And I think that the solution that Jeremiah came up with and Dan came up with is really wonderful. And making this kind of more minor character in the book of, you know, the kind of white boy who plays the porno for them, having him be a kind of love interest was a kind of a really neat solution. I think that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I wanted in. I mean, there were so many scenes that were shot that were just incredible. I mean, I thought the film should be 3 hours long. I still don't see why it's not. But it couldn't be, you know, it couldn't be. And so there was a bit of a tug of war around what's going to get in and what's not going to get in. But it was, for the most part, it was a very collaborative process, which was lovely. I mean, really, Jeremiah, he had me. I was on set for the shoot. I was in the editing room. I was there, and we didn't always agree, but I was there, and we talked about it until it got to a point where I felt comfortable with the decisions that were being made. Yeah.
We actually don't have time for any more questions.
Wow.
The cast and Justin have to whisk uptown to another screening, but thank you all for coming out, and one more round of applause for all
Thank
of you.
you.